Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 2 trades today and I've got everything on video. If you like these videos, hit the like button. If you have any questions about these trades, leave a comment below. Finally, if you'd like to download the trading tools that I use in this video, the easiest way to do so is to go to my YouTube page, click on the little Facebook icon. You can become a member of the trading group. It's totally free. Click on files and you have access to my trading plan, my trading spreadsheet, my 2-hour calculator, all that good stuff. So let's go over the trades. And also, before we do that, I'd like to say that if you're not interested in this early morning pre-market trading, I am going to be trading at a different time next month. I'm not going to give it away. It's probably not what you're thinking, but it's definitely a time where more traders will be able to trade. So watch out for that in April. So as always, how do I pick my stocks? I have the Webull app open. Click on markets, top gainers, pre-market. That's when we're trading. Select all. Organized by volume. I'm only interested in the top 3 stocks, and at the time HOFV and DLPN were in the top 3, and Cidm was not there yet, and it did pop up a little later, and you'll see that in the video. So let's look at the actual trades I took. So here it's right around 4 a.m. right now, and HOFV was the first one that made my watch list. And I didn't get to put a line on the chart, but this is basically the previous high right here that was established in the aftermarket. It was higher than the previous day as well. So that's my criteria to look for an entry. And it's a little bit of a weird ABCD pattern, but it's not for me to judge if it's good or strong or whatever. It's just if it fits the criteria, then I look for an entry, and it does. So that's what I have to do. And I was just checking to make sure it was above the previous highs. And this line is just a representation of if the price falls below this point, I can't take an entry because this one's right on the edge of falling below point A. But it doesn't do that. And also, this is, I guess at this point, DLPN popped up on the top 3. And it's kind of same thing. Here's the previous high, and it was above the yesterday's previous high as well. So right now, this is a much nicer looking ABCD pattern, but again, I don't really care about that. Sometimes the nice ones fail and the ugly ones work, and vice versa. So here's point A. I'm waiting for point B and a pullback. Okay, so the other thing, that this one's kind of weird because it may not be obvious that this is a pullback, but because the high was established over here and this candle closed lower, it is a pullback. And so now my first entry is for the break of this 1-minute candle. So I'm ideally looking for 821 to get in. So I'm watching this bubble, and I know it happened right before the next 1-minute candle form, so I'll fast forward a little bit. Should be very close right now. I need to see 821 or higher. There's 820. There's 823, so I get in. It didn't ever show 821. It went right to 823. So I'm in. And my stop loss is 1 cent below the low of the previous candle. I'm using my 2-hour calculator, which you can download from the Facebook page. That gives me my profit target automatically, which was 901. Which I did put out once it started to pop. And then, okay, so while this trade was going on, I took my eyes off DLPN, and you could see it gave me an entry right here for the break of this candle, and I missed it, but I can still get in as long as, so my stop loss, if I got in for the break of that candle, would be the low of that candle. So as long as that hasn't been hit or the profit target hasn't been hit, I can still get in. So I figured out the break of that candle would have been 31.91. So I put in a limit order. And this part I'm not that quick at because I don't normally do that, but I just have to type in things manually. And that's what I'm trading with right now. On each trade is $64. That's about 10% of my account. And there's my limit price, $31.91. So that means that the only way this thing will get me in is if the price is $31.91 or lower. And I guess at the moment that I put in that limit order, it was below $31.91, so it filled me at $31.80, which is fine. So I'll just show you again. I'm entering. Well, actually, I took it took me a minute to get to the 2-hour calculator on this one, because you see what happened is it like flushed down against me really quickly, so I thought I might have to stop out. So I hesitated to put in the data because I didn't want to get caught in a flush and not be able to get out of the stock. And actually they were both kind of taking my attention at this point. DLPN was extremely low float, I think like 14 million shares, so that means that it can really bounce around a lot very quickly with very little volume. So finally I get to plug in the data to my 2-hour calculator, and I use my actual entry, the 3180, and that gives me my profit target, which was 34.34. And again, I don't really have time to mess with it too much, because now this one, HOFV, is starting to look like it's going to stop me out, so I have to focus my attention on that. And you see me pull this up quite a bit, and I'm just double checking, that I put in the data correctly, and maybe checking to make sure where my stop loss is. So it's really nice to have that 2-hour calculator, especially when you're trading multiple stocks at a time, So there I finally put my profit target out, my sell limit order at my profit target. All right, so yeah, I guess I got confused at one point, and HOFV was in the top 3 on the screener, and I forgot that was the one that I was actually in. So that's why this thing flipped. Okay, so now this is interesting. At that moment, I don't think I showed the screener, but because I'm looking at it on my laptop, at that moment I noticed CIDM was in the top 3. I think it had already been, actually it was number 1. I think it had already been there for a little while. But my trading plan says that the only entry that I can take is for the first pullback after an ABCD pattern. So here's A, here's B, here's C, and this would have been my entry, and I missed it. And then my plan says if I miss that first pullback, then I can't take another trade on this stock, because it's less likely that the next one will work out. It may, but it's definitely less likely than the first one. So I'm only interested in the most probable setups, even if I miss, this one was kind of a bummer, because this obviously was a nice, easy 2-hour trade, but it's still nice to see that, hey, if I would have caught in that and got in, it would have been a successful trade. So then the next thing my plan says to take it off the watch list. That way there's no temptation of trying to get in if, let's say, there's another good ABCD setup, because here you got A, B, C, and then now here's D, but this becomes the next ABCD pattern, A, B, C, and I don't really know if the next one worked out or not. I don't really care. It's not up to me. I did pull it up later, and I'll show you why. Okay, so yeah, once again, like the interesting thing is, and this is why I don't try to judge stocks subjectively, is that if you would ask me in the middle of this trade, I would have thought that out of these two, that HOFV would have more chance of working out. It's a cheaper stock. It had kind of a reasonable float, not like 45 million shares. This one had 14 million shares, so extremely volatile. It would have been very easy to flush down against me, but also takes less volume to push the price up. But if I had to place a bet, I would have said this one will be more likely to work out and this one fail, or they both fail. So that's why I don't judge them. Once I'm in there, I put out my profit target and my stop loss, and then I let the stock do its thing, and whatever happens, happens. And that's how you get statistics to work in your favor. And look what happens there. I get filled exactly where I wanted to. Okay, now I pulled up, this was just like out of curiosity, since now I'm pretty much done trading. I can't take any more trades. I just have to manage this trade now. So once a trade hits my 2-hour target, I'm done. I can't take any more. So I pulled up CIDM just to see, like, if I got that beautiful 2-hour setup, what would have the P&L have been, and it was basically the same as DLPN, maybe like a few cents more. So that made me feel a little better. Not that I would have done anything if it was the other way around, but it was just kind of killing time while I'm still watching this trade. And let's see, that's weird. I guess it didn't show my my update. Oh, there it is, 527 in the green at that point, which was basically what the P&L from this one was, because this one was about break even at that moment. So now I'm just doing like housekeeping basically while I'm in that trade, just putting those lines exactly where I want them. It doesn't change how I'm trading or anything, just gives me something to do while I'm waiting for the trade to play out. And now I'm just like zoomed in because it looks like it's going to stop me out, and there it does. So 784 was my stop, and you can see it went right from 785 I think down to 782. We'll watch that one more time. There's 785, and here, you know, I'm laser focused. I have my fingers on the sell button. We'll see how quickly I triggered them once this level is broken. There's 783. You can see I triggered them immediately, and I ended up just taking 2 cents slippage on there, which is perfectly acceptable. So this was an example of basically ideal 2R trading. The idea behind the 2R trading is that when one trade fails, the other one wipes out the loser, and you still end up green. And that's what happened today. Let me show you. So you can see that the first, or actually I guess this was technically the first trade I entered, but the last one I exited, the loss was 289, and DLPN was almost twice that, profit wise with 506. So 253 if this was 253, then that would be perfect 2R, but this is real trading, not theoretical trading. So pretty happy with that. Of course, I'd prefer that both of them were green, but still could have been 2 red trades, and then I would have had to take a third trade, and if there was a setup. So this is still pretty good. Ideally, of course, as the first trade wins and you're done. So still a little bit red on the week, but kind of crawling our way back. Just down 1% now. Not a big deal when you consider for the whole month I'm up just about 9%, a little bit lower, about $50, which is great for a cash account this size, and I'm taking extremely low risk setups with only 10% of my account per trade. So take a look at the spreadsheet now. Oh, also I wanted to mention, this is pretty interesting, is that if I would have gotten the desired entry, which was 31.91, my profit target would have been 34.67 on DLPN, and it would have hit my profit target on that too. Let's see, where was it? Yeah, right here. Let me see, what was the 34.67, and this one went to 34.19, so I would have been filled one candle later than where I was. So even if I would have gotten that perfect entry, I would have it still would have hit 2R, and it actually would have been a better trade because I would have made more money. But like I said, this is real trading, not perfect theoretical trading. And if we take a look at the spreadsheet, so today one red trade, one green trade, and for the week down 642, but up. This is a little bit lower because than what we will showed you, because I got some free stocks, so but that doesn't make much difference. I don't record that on my spreadsheet because that wouldn't make sense. So that's where we are, and you know, so far so good. Overall, this month has gone really well, and the 2R thing is working out really great. The win rate is only 55%, yet I'm up almost 10% on the account, and that's how the 2R trading works. You only need 33% win rate to break even, and anything above that is profit. So so this is really working out really well this month. And let me know if you have any questions about this trade or any others that I take. And I always like to leave you with, always take your stop losses no matter what, and honor your profit targets, and you should be green in the long run. Take care.